Hi guys, it's Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, you guys, I wanted to share some of my Angie's Angels with you guys. And this is like a little, I don't know, Parisian steampunk girl is what I call her. And I think in my shop, she's named Sandy. I should know that. I have a lot of dolls, you guys, okay? Don't yell at me. But I call her my little like Parisian steampunk girl. So this is the stamp. And like I said, this is in my Etsy shop. www.myfairytreasures.etsy.com, and just the plain stamp, which is this right here, is $3.50. So the stamps are always $3.50. I copied her 8.5 by 11. For one, I like to color a large picture because then I can really get into my shading and shadowing a lot easier than if I copy her like really small, like a 4 by 6 or even smaller. Then it just makes it harder to color, in my opinion. But you can also print her out like 5 by 7, and that's a little bit easier to color that size too. And then once you color it, save it to a flash drive, and then through your printer, save it to a flash drive. At least this is what I have to do. Take the flash drive to your computer, put it into your system, and then that way you can print her out after you've colored her any size you want her. Okay, so you could go ahead and color her large, and then print her out to the size you need for your project or projects. So anyway, and this is what, this is what the stamp looks like, the digital stamp. And then this is how I colored her up. And it turned out pretty cute. Excuse my head. And then this one is the is her put in a mixed media background. And I cut her out. Sometimes I go ahead and print her off and mixed media around her, but this one I did the mixed media and her separate, and then I decoupaged her on here. But if you use decoupage glue, which I like to use that, or Eileen's, don't put it over the top of the girl like we normally do, because that might change the colors on the girl, because depending on what you're using, so we don't want any bleeding. Okay, so I think that turned out really, really cute in the mixed media. Okay, so this first part of the video, I'm going to show you how I colored her up. And let me show you, yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to first show you how I colored her up. And the second part of the video will be how I did the mixed media background. So if you don't really interested on how I colored the girl up, then, and you just want the mixed media part, then just go ahead and fast forward this video to so you see the mixed media. And or go to part 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to add this on to the end of this video right now, or I'm just going to make a part 2. Right now, I'm pretty much thinking I'm going to add this as all one video, one long video. But the first part of it's going to be me coloring her up. The second part's going to be mixed media. So, and I do some different things with my coloring, so I think it's worth watching and, you know, picking up a few tips if you like. And let's get to it. Okay, so let me put her over to the side. Okay, and let's put our digital stamp here. Okay, make sure you guys can see pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I always start with the face first, and I will try to, well, not try, I will always, like, because I know my hand's going to be in the way, because I'm overhead, but not quite as much as I need to be. Working on it, girls, working on it. But I will, every time I do something, as soon as I'm done doing it, I'll move my hand away so you guys can see, okay? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the shading on her face and just get some base color on there. And I'm going to use this gelato, and it is peach, okay? And even if I did a darker, I'm going to do a little bit darker skin tone on her. And even if I did a really dark skin tone, I still start with the shading first, and I usually still start with this peach color because it lays down some foundation color for me. You don't have to do it like this. You could just go in with Copics and pick your 2 or 3, 4 colors that you want to use for this. Also, you guys don't get caught up in the exact colors I use. Get caught up in the techniques that you're seeing. Okay? Because no one's going to have the same exact mediums as somebody else. So it's not about the medium that you're using, which is the products. It's not about the exact color. It's about the techniques. Okay? All right, so for my first way, we're going to go through and we're going to shade. I'm going to shade underneath her hat because naturally it would be darker there, so I just shaded right here underneath. I'm going to go all the way around her hairline. Okay. And you guys, if I just printed this, so I'm getting a little bit of bleeding. To prevent like the ink bleeding, I go to, and I found out that there's a difference because Shonda went to Kinko's and hers still bled a little bit. I went to what printer place did I go to? I'm trying to think if it was Office Max or Office Depot. It's Office Depot. I always get those confused. I went to Office Depot, and when I got whatever ink they use there doesn't bleed for your digital images. So you might want to take it in there and get them done that way. And or just wait overnight, and you'll get way less bleeding or absolutely none. So this is kind of the nature of the beast with digital. Or just printing, period. I don't know why they charge us an arm and a leg for this ink. I don't know why we have to have any issues with their ink. Don't they charge us enough, girls? Jeez. We'll be paying for that ink. Okay, so I'm shading it right now, and I'm going to show you guys right now how I shaded it. Here in just a second. Okay, so there it is. There it is. I shaded here. I shaded all the way around. I shaded and left some area for the cheeks here. I shaded all the way around here. I shaded right up to her nose and here. So the light is going to hit right in the center of her. Okay? And like I said, from here, you could use this skin tone and then just do a little bit of shading and not make her too much darker. But we're going to make her quite a bit darker. But that also gives me a little, now I've just given myself a roadmap for all the shading, for the additional shading I'm going to do. And shading and highlighting. Okay. And something I forgot about, I'm going to need, excuse my head, and I'm going to have to come across the film because I got to dry this really quick. And of course I forgot that. Okay. It's live, people. It's live. There's no editing. Oh, jeez. I can edit films together. I've learned to do that, but I haven't learned to go in and like take things in and out of the film yet. I'll be getting there, I'm sure. But the more editing you do, the more time it takes afterwards to get it on YouTube. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, what is this? Just a second, guys. For some reason I'm having a hard time. There we go. I was having a hard time plugging that in. All right, we're all plugged in. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let me dry this real quick. Oh, there's one more shading that I didn't do that I wanted to do. Duh. Duh to myself. Right here on the side of the nose. I just want to take a little bit of shading right here. And you guys probably won't be able to see this shading that I'm doing for the nose until I get my pencil in there, which is I will. Okay, right there. So it gives a little shade right there. All right. Now I can dry. Okay, you guys, and you know what I was just thinking about? Well, while I'm doing the rest of this, let me go ahead and shade her neck and her legs and her arms. Okay. So that's about the size brush I'm using, okay? And like I said, you guys can do the same thing and use all Copics. I just really like this technique of using a base color, a base coat of like either gelatos, or I like to use a base coat of watercolor, and sometimes I do acrylic. And then do this Prismacolor pencils over, which is what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so I just did a little bit on the neck here and left the center white there for the highlighting. Okay, the hands, I'm just going to go all the way around the outside. Okay. Leave the middle open for some shading and highlighting. And if you're like, what are you talking about, this shading and highlighting thing? You'll see as we go along how it comes out. Okay, now I'm going to do the legs, and I'm going to do right on the sides and leave the center open, okay? I know this video is going to be long, you guys, because we're doing in a mixed media and we're doing it real time, but stick with me because I think you'll really like it. I think you'll pick up on some nice tips for yourself. I've learned a lot of these tips from a lot of ladies on YouTube, and I've kind of put a lot of different things I've learned all together and kind of come with my own style. Not saying I created these ideas, because I didn't. But I did come up with my own, kind of my own style of things that I like. I took a little from this person I learned on YouTube, a little from this person, some things from myself, and kind of, you know, created my own style. Which is what we all do with everything, really. Any of the projects we do on YouTube. We take a little from this person, take a little from this person, make it our own. Okay. Or we learn so much, then we start creating some things on our own. Because we've been inspired by what we've seen. Okay. Now, like I said, now you get, okay, one more hand. Got a little hand holding the purse here. And you guys, base coating it first really quick, especially if you're going to use colored pencils like I'm going to, it makes the process a little faster. And if you wanted to lay down some Copic color, like just a real pretty flush color first, you could do that and then use that as your base and then use these Prismacolors over that. That works awesome too. Or just use all Copics. It's the technique, really. Okay, so now I went ahead and shaded everywhere I want it shaded, and we're going to deepen the shading, and it's also giving me a roadmap and a pattern where to go with everything. So, here we go. There we go. It dries really, really quick. And something else, you guys, I got a little bit too much of that gelato right here. And I learned this the other day. Gelato erases. Is that cool or what? Who would think it erases? I was erasing, I thought, some pencil. And I erased some of the gelato underneath it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I just erased a little bit of the gelato because I kind of made it, the shading right there. It's a little too far over. So there's a little tip. Okay, so you guys can see all the shading. Okay? All right. I just went to look at my camera to see what you guys are seeing. I always kind of do a little check so I know I'm not too off. Okay. I'm drinking lavender tea, you guys. It's so good. In my real pretty heart mug. Remember that from my video? I love it. Okay. Next, we're going to go in with our shading. And I'm going to use, what am I going to use, girls? I'm going to find out right now. I'm going to use my terracotta color. And what I want to tell you guys about this is I use Prismacolor pencils. Now, people are not going to agree with me when I say this statement. So this is just my personal opinion. Take it or leave it, but this is what I think. I use Prismacolor pencils. I use Scholar. I also use Prismacolor Premiers. Premiers are the top notch of the Prismacolor world, okay? I use the Scholars. I have both. I have more Scholars than I have Prismacolor Premiers. The Prismacolor and the Prismacolor Scholars are more like student grade. You guys, it's maybe 1 or 2 levels down. So it's a little more shading to save a whole lot of money. Because you can buy, I bought a pack of like 60, I think, for like $30, $35 on Walmart.com. And you guys, that's a way affordable way to get a ton of colors. Like I have so many colors, I don't need to really go beyond that and buy more colors. I have enough colors to play with. I mean, look at this, you guys. I got all of these. And there's some missing out here because I have them sitting out. I mean, I got a ton. So, anyway, that's just my opinion on it. When I replace colors, I do have to go into the Prismacolor Premiers because I can't replace Scholars. At least I don't think I can. So, but just to give you guys a nice little tip on that and save a lot of money. Okay, now we're going to shade. We're going to follow this shading all the way around, and I'll show you guys as we go around. We're going to deepen our shading. will come, and you want a real light hand. If anything, you want to be able to go, because if you have a real light hand with pencils, you'll be able to add layers upon layers upon layers and blend things out. But if you go heavy-handed, you won't be able to blend all this out. Okay? So let me, just 1 second, guys. Okay, so see what I've done so far? I've gone on the edge there, all the way around. Now I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to try to work at an angle that I don't get in your way, so you can see. It's not going to be totally possible, but I'm trying. I need to figure out a system with an arm to go right over my desk. I have my camera set up really high, but not completely over me. Anyway, it's hard to explain. Okay, so I've gone around like that. Okay, you guys, continuing on with the face. Okay. So, I did notice, you know, I have a little more shading on this side than this side. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of my shading and bring it in just a little bit more. The darkest color, I mean. Okay, just to kind of even things out. And then go back in with my peach color. Blend that out. These are the three colors. The light peach, the terracotta. I think it's terracotta. What is it? Yeah, terracotta and the light peach. I use the heck out of these three. Okay, I went a little bit further in there on the skin, so just wanted to even myself up a little bit. Going over everything again with the light peach color. Okay, just like that. What am I doing for the eyes? Okay, on the eyes, let's just go in with our terracotta color. I think that's what I did before. Well, for right now, let's just go in with our regular peach color on the lids. Yeah. Sometimes I take the lids and I put eyeshadow on them, but I don't know. So on the lids, I just use a little bit of this peach color right there. And in the corners of the, on this corner and this corner of the lid, just in the corners, I'm going to deepen it just a little bit to shade it. Okay. Okay, so all I did is I just took my peach color, put it all over the lid, and then just in the corners, just deepened a little bit with my terracotta. And then my lightest peach color, go over the whole thing. You know how I always said, go over the whole thing with your lightest color, a lot of times, and it will blend everything together, whether you're using Copics or, and I should just say Copics, whatever alcohol marker you're using. Okay? So there we go. Okay, so now I'm just taking my light color of light peach and just blending everything into each other. Just a nice blend of everything. Okay, there we go. I think that's turning out really, really pretty. Okay, what's the next thing I want to do? The next thing I want to do is I want to go in with a... Now, you can use any color you want on this, but you can use a purple. It's going to be what your lips are. So choose your lip color. You can choose a really pretty deep purple, or I'm going to use a Tuscan red, okay? And I'm going to go in on her lips with a Tuscan red. Okay, very light with a light hand. Now, I want it deep, but I don't want to go real hard on it right away. So there he is. That's the first layer, okay? I'm going to go over it. Try to stay, and I'm going to go over it just lightly, just to deepen it. So in case I want to come back and put anything else on top of here with the pencil, I can, because I didn't get to a waxy buildup. That's what I wanted to say. Don't do a big waxy buildup, because once you hit that, then you can't put anything else on top of here. I'm not going to put anything else on top of here, but in case I was, I'm leaving myself options. Okay, so there's my nice Tuscan red lips. Now, this is what's kind of cool. You're going to go around right near the hairline with this Tuscan red. And if you use the deep purple, you would do that. Whatever color you're going to do with the lips. It brings like the blood to the face. And really, like, you're going to see. It's hard for me to explain. So I'm going to go around the hairline. Real tight on the hairline with this color. And you guys will see what I'm talking about. And I won't do the other side yet. And go underneath the eye also. Real tight. Okay, so look at this side and look at that side. See the difference? It just adds, like I said, I think it brings the blood into the face. It adds that redness, a little warmth. We all have a little redness because, you know, it's like, you know, it's bringing the redness, the blood, our blood, into our skin. So it brings the skin to life. That's what I should say. I'm trying to find the perfect words and it's not working. Okay? And I really like what that does. See how pretty that is? Love it. Okay. And then, you know, we need to do the neck. Let's shade the neck. Let's go in with our terracotta color and let's shade the neck in. Okay. We're just following that same pattern of the shading that we did. So I'm going to come back here in a second so you guys can see. Get my hand out of the way. Okay, so there's that shading. Let's go ahead and do the hands too. Go around all the outside of the hands. Put our shading in. And I don't know if I'm in, I don't think I'm in a... Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm doing this off camera because I forgot. I'm only showing you guys the face right now. So I'll go back up to the face and get off the hands. I'll show you the hands in a minute. I don't want to have to rearrange my camera angle right now. Let me see if you guys are seeing the neck, though. Yeah, you guys can see that. Oh, you guys can see me doing the hands. Oh, cool. All right, I'll continue with doing the hands, too. I just think you guys can see it in the film. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to outline the hands, leaving the center where the light hits. And you guys don't always have to leave the center where the light hits. You can have the light hitting at the left or the right. But it's an easy concept saying it like this, so much easier to explain. Okay, so I went ahead and put all my shading in there. Then we're going to take our peach color, okay, go over what the shading that we just did and come out a little bit, just like we did the other thing. You guys noticing a pattern? It's all the same. No matter what I'm doing, it's pretty much the same technique. Okay, see? And let's do that to the hands. Go right over what you just shaded and come out a little bit from that. I'm going to show you guys here. There. Same thing here. Okay. So there we go. Okay, and then take our light peach color and go over the entire thing and even the white part, okay? Now, if, like I said, if you're going with a lighter skin tone, you would probably leave the white there because that's going to be your highlight. But the highlight needs to be a little bit deeper when I'm going with this color skin tone. That's how I see it. So again, I'm going over everything that I've colored so far to blend everything together and also to just deepen the highlight center part a little bit. But watch it. If you're going with a really light skin tone, when it comes to the center, you might just want to leave that white because that's going to look perfect. That white, really white highlight is going to look perfect with that skin tone. So be judging things as you go along. Okay. I think that looks really good. I think I should put a little bit of dark on the knuckles here. Just a second, guys. I'm just putting a little bit of darkness on the knuckles. And you guys do the same thing I'm doing. When you see things that need to be done, do them. Okay, I think that looks good. Let me just go over this a tad bit more on the neck. Okay, this is looking really good. Okay, so next what I want to do, I'm just going over everything with my, I'm always blending with this light peach color, you guys. You'll see me like, I'll look at things and go, oh, I need to be more blended. Okay, because I'm crazy. Okay, so I'm going to take now, now you can choose in your alcohol markers or whatever you're using, or even in your pencils, a good color for the cheeks. And but I'm going to use my gelato, and I'm using this watermelon color. Excuse me, I don't have my glasses on. Hopefully I can see what it says. Does it say melon? It says melon. How funny. I feel like it's a watermelon color, and it says watermelon on it. Okay, so where's my brush? So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and don't be super heavy-handed with this either, with your blush, because you can always add more, but you can't. Well, you can kind of take it away, but it's just not as easy to take it away. So anyway, I like to do my blushing right up in almost in the corner of the eye, or right below the eyelashes there, and come out just a little bit. Start up. So let me do it, and I'll show you, and you'll see. I think this gives me the most natural looking cheek. And sometimes you don't want it to be natural. Sometimes you want like a big old, I don't know, red spot. Also, if you're using gelatos and it looks a little deep, just relax for a minute and let it dry. Because once it dries quite a bit lighter. Because sometimes I've been like, oh, I don't like that. It looks a little dark. And then once it dried, it was like perfect. So and it blended right into the skin. Like, it might look like, ooh, that's too much, but just give it a minute, and it'll probably be fine and blend right in. Okay, see how I did the cheeks? So I started up here in the corner, and then brought it down into like a little bit of a little circle, so it looks like a cheek there. Okay, and I can bring this up just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, and we'll let the cheeks dry. Okay. All right, next let's hit these eyes. Okay, for one, I like to go around the eyes, and I like to define my eyes with a black marker. Let me just dry my cheeks real quick. All right. I don't want to make a mess of anything. Okay, so we're going to go around and we're going to define the eyes like you do with like an eyeliner, okay, on ourselves. So, just come in here and just deepen her eyeliner a little bit. Okay. And that's up to you how much you want to define the eyes or not. This is what I like to do. Okay. So that's how I defined her eyes. Okay, and then next I want to color her what her eye color is going to be. So I love green eyes, and I do it too much. I kind of need to get out of these green eyes and start using some other colors of eyes. All right, that's my camera, but we'll go as long as we can. Okay, so let me just test my colors here real quick. I'm trying to test what's my lightest color, my darkest, and then my medium, which I think this is it right here. Okay, this is my lightest. So this is my lightest, medium, dark. So pretty much I always am like that, light, medium, dark, whatever I'm coloring, because you need this different levels of shading. Your lightest color is your highlight, in the middle tone, and then you got your deepest shade. Okay, anyway, I'm taking my green. So whatever color, pick 3 colors. If you want blue eyes, pick 3 different colors: a light color blue, a medium blue, and a darker blue. So you can get a really nice eye color. Okay, so I'm going to take this lighter green color and color the entire eyeball. Okay. With a light hand, and do both eyes. And I better still be filming. Okay, then next, we're going to take your mid-tone, and we're going to go, okay, so those are the eyes. We're going to go in the corners of the eyes to the center, but not meeting the center. Leave the center open, okay? And this is going to be really hard for you guys to see, probably, but that's what you're going to do. So you're going to go from here, leave the center open, here, and leave that center open, okay? So you want that your lightest green color to remain there in the center. Okay, so that center color right here is your lightest color still, okay? Then you're going to take your dark green, and you're only going to go in the corner of the eyeball. I got to sharpen my pencil. Where is my pencil sharpener? I have an electric, which is really nice, but like for some reason, I don't know where it's at. Just a second. I'll just go, for some reason it's acting up. Anyway, go in the corners of the eyeball. So you're only going to go just in the little corner right there and right there. You're going to go right here and right there. And this gives you a really pretty eye, no matter what color you're doing. So this is kind of my eye pattern I follow. I really like it. Look how gorgeous her eyes look. Let me see what my camera's doing. Okay, look how gorgeous those eyes look. I'm going to come in really close on those eyes. Ooh, sorry guys. Okay, look how pretty the eyes look. Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the catch light in the eye. So that's the next thing we're going to do. Okay, so let me get my white paint out. Okay, you guys, we're going to continue with the eyes. And I zoomed in. Excuse me, I just went to my camera and I zoomed in a little bit because, well, quite a bit. Because I want you guys to really see how I do the eyes. And like I said before, you guys, take what you want from these techniques I'm showing you. And whatever you don't like, discard it. If you don't like any of it, don't take any of it. But these are just some ideas, some techniques that you can incorporate in your own style. The first thing I want to do is I want to I already defined her eyes, but I want to define her eyelashes a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Right over the eyelashes I already have, I'm going to swipe in some more eyelashes. You guys see that? Okay, I like to get crazy with eyelashes. As you guys have seen, all my dolls have a lot of eyelashes. Most of the time they have a lot of hair. I like hair, I like eyelashes. Okay, so I just gave her more eyelashes. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to define her entire eye. Okay, let me just do that. So now, I just went around the entire eye here and define that, and I'm going to do that. See the difference between this one and this one? I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and now her eyes are a little bit more defined. Okay, so now, what I want to do is, I want to put the catch light in the eye. So, I use white paint. And you know, while we're doing this, we're going to use, I like to do the catch light now. We're also going to do catch lights everywhere. On her cheeks, everywhere we need to do it. Okay? I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera as much as possible. And if I know if my hand gets in the way, you guys, I know that's frustrating. I'll move my hand, explain what I just did in that same area if my hand ends up being in the way. Sometimes it's in the way, sometimes it's not. I'm working on getting an overhead, somehow setting myself up. Overhead. I've tried so many things, and that's like my weakness is stuff like that, so I'm working on it. And I've seen other people's, and I'm trying to work on it, and it crashes. Anyway, moving on, people. Moving on. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do the catch light. I do a line right here in her eye. Okay, so there's a light. There's one right there, and I kind of made that too big. Just a second, people. Like Bob Ross said, I made a happy little accident. Just a second. Okay. Just a second, guys. I got to get up on this, on her eyes, so it'll look, so it doesn't look like a disaster. Okay, there we go. Okay, when you do this, you kind of have to have your, not too much paint, not too little paint, because you want to just do a really small little line. And I'm using a really, really small brush. Like small. Let me show you guys. Like that. See how thin that brush is? Okay. So you might want to test it just to make sure. Okay, I'm good now. So I'll leave that alone, let that dry. We'll go over to this eye. So I'm just putting a little line like this. I'll show you. Okay, see how I put that line there? Okay. Then we're going to put another line like that in her eye. Okay, there's another one. Then I'm going to put one down here on the bottom. Just a little bit. Okay, look how much of a difference all that makes. And we'll throw one more little catch light right in here, the top of it. Like that. Doesn't that look cool? Now, it doesn't have to always be, like, you don't have to be in the exact spots I am and all that. Just, like I've always said, these are techniques. Use what works for you and what doesn't, don't. But it doesn't have to be exact, but you're just kind of getting the technique of it all. Okay, so now we can go to this eye because that ink is dry. In this eye. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Okay, so there that is. Do another one of those little, I'll call them shooting stars. So there's one shooting star, there's two shooting stars. Then we're going to do another line at the little dot. And then a little dot up here. And they're not perfect dots. They're irregular dots. Because the more perfect, the more fake. That's my opinion. So make an irregular dot. Okay? For the little ones. So look how pretty that makes her eyes. You guys, that's the smallest little difference. It's the smallest little thing. And look what the big difference it makes in those eyes. It brings the eyes alive. Now, this is something I like to do. You can take it or leave it, but I just love doing this. I do little dots on the, right here on the, like where her eyeliner is. So I'm going to do that now. And on some of my dolls, I've started just putting that in the digital stamp. So on some of them, you won't even have to do it because it's already there. Okay, so there you go. I put the little dots in. So I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so there's some more there. That's fine. Okay, and then I like to also throw some little white dots. We'll say little white stars in our eyelashes, just sporadically in the eyelashes. So, okay, so I'm going to do that next. And I kind of do an up and down process, so it looks random, so it doesn't look, so see? So kind of do one up and one down and one up and one down and one up and one down, so it looks random. I just think it looks, I love it. It's kind of overdoing the eyes, but I don't care. I love it. You guys know me, I love overdoing everything. Okay, but I think tastefully, not too much. And this is my style, like I said. If you don't want to overdo these eyes or do this much, you could have stopped already a long time ago. Okay, but these are different techniques. Like I said, take what you want. Now, on the lips, I'm going to throw in some white on the lips here. See it there? Okay. I'm going to throw some more white on the lips down here. These are just little catch lights. This is what brings your paintings alive, or your girls, is when you throw these catch lights in. I'm going to throw another catch light on her cheeks. Okay? So here we go. And on her cheeks, what I do a lot of times, I dab it in, and then I kind of touch it to kind of get it to, I don't know, naturally look like it was put there, like the light did it. Not like I put a blob on there of paint. And then I just touch it a little bit. And that catch light's a little bit bigger than I want it, so just a second, people. Just a second. Okay. And if this is acrylic paint I use, so if you mess up like I just did, just quickly wipe it off and you'll be fine. Okay. There we go. That looks good. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. So I like that. Okay, and then let's throw another catch light on her chest. Just a little bit right here, or not chest, on her neck. Okay, right in the center there. Just a little bit. The light hit that. So that's light hit there. We can do right on the bridge of the nose, a little light hitting there. Right on the bridge. Okay, like that. And on that one, I'm going to use my finger just to smooth it out a little bit. I love that. Now, sometimes you can throw a catch light here too on the forehead. I don't want to on this one. I just don't feel like it needs it. I feel like there's enough light there. I just want to leave it alone there. Okay? You can throw a little catch light too on our hands, right there in the center, if you want. So I just do a little there, throw a little on here in the center. And it doesn't have to be in the center. You can throw your catch lights wherever you want. That's where I just like thinking. So wherever the light's bouncing off. See how that's brought the whole thing? It's brought the whole doll. I call them little dolls, little angels, little Angie's angels, what I call them. It's brought them to life. Okay, next. You know what we need to do? I'm going to move the camera down. Let me see where we're at. Yeah, I'm going to move the camera down. In fact, I just did her hands, and you guys didn't totally see that. Sorry. Did I do catch lights right there on her hands? Okay. Same way I did everything else. See her legs? Those need to be done. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go down to the legs and finish those up. Okay, we're going to still take the terracotta color that I've been using. Okay, and like always, we're going to go start deepening up the shadow that I already put in. Okay, so here we go. Right on the edges. And a very light hand. Okay, so there's that. Okay, on the other side, I'm having the highlight, the highlight part, of course, be in the middle, and of course it doesn't have to be. I could just do one side of her leg, like this whole side could be dark and this whole side could be light. But for the sake of this video and making things a little simpler, we're always having the light bounce just right in the middle of the face, right in the middle of the hand. I did a face, and I really liked how it turned out. I had this whole side lighter and this whole side darker on her face. That looks pretty cool. I did that in a coloring book page I did. And I'll start changing around, like where I'm having the lighting bounce out so you guys can see that too. I'll start doing that in my future videos. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. All right. I think I'm going to bring the shading down here too. I just feel like it should. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do that also. And have a very light hand, because the lighter hand you have, the better that you can blend your next color into this. Not better, it will blend. But if you get that waxy buildup, it's not going to blend. So if something's not dark as you want it, just go over it lightly until you get the darkness that you want. So now I'm going to the other side, going over to that side. I try to explain as I go along because I never know at what angle my hand's going to be in the way. And yes, I do hate that sometimes my hand is in the way of showing you guys what I'm doing. So frustrating. But I hope you guys, since I'm doing this to time and I do move out of the way when I'm done with something, if my hand is in the way, I explain what I just did and I show you. So hopefully that's still coming across. Okay, so there we go with that. She's coming alive. Okay, next thing I want to do is, remember this Tuscan red that we used outlining her face and outlining everything, and it brought blood to the skin? We're going to do the same thing. So just right next to the black line, we're going to throw this red in here. Okay. There we go. And it's not a major thing. Like, it doesn't show up like, oh, that's crimson red. It just kind of, like I said, it just starts bringing that red into the skin. Starts bringing the blood into the skin. Okay? Got a little far out with that. We're okay. Looks good. Okay. Okay, so now I just did that side. Now I'm going to go to the outside over here. All right. Okay. That looks good. There we go. See how those legs are coming alive. I want to use my shading color, the terracotta, a little bit more and come out a little bit further. Okay, just a little bit on both sides. Okay, it's a little bit more and a little bit more here. It's always good to like do a little less because you can always add a little more. It's hard to take away. But that's not true either, because you know what? I told you guys, you can totally erase with your eraser, with colored pencil, which is really cool. You can also erase with the gelatos. I said that also earlier. Okay, so there we go with that. Now, let's take our, I'm taking a peach color, this here. And we're going to go over what we've already colored and beyond that just a little bit on both sides and both legs. So if you guys notice, I do a lot of the same technique no matter what part of the body I'm on. A lot of it's the same. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to go to the other side. Go right over what you just did. This helps blend everything together too. So go over from where you started, that crimson red, the terracotta, everything. Go over that and go right beyond it a little bit. It starts blending everything together so it looks more natural. Really starts the blending process nice. And this is why you need to have like a light hand when using these. Okay, now we're going to go over with our lightest color, our lightest peach color. And now we're going to go over the whole darn thing. And this really starts to blend the skin tones all together. And this technique is the same if you use Copics or spectrum neural markers or any alcohol markers. The techniques are pretty much, I mean, it's the same. It really is. I still, even with the alcohol markers, I take my lightest color and I go over the whole thing because it starts just blending everything together even better. Just one second, guys. I got a little heavy-handed with that crimson up here. I just need to like blend that in with this brown color. Okay. So there we go. And I'm just going to just do this for just another second. Just really, really work on blending with a light hand. Okay. Okay, the next thing we're going to go to is the hair. And you know, she has a lot of hair, like a lot of my dolls do. And I'm not going to, and there we go. I'm not going to do her entire head. I'm going to do half the hair. And I'll remind you guys what the hair looks like. Let me put this here. Let me move my camera angle. Because just for the sake of time, oh, that looks good in the camera, her legs. Okay, for the sake of time, oh, that's the one I just colored. Anyway, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do one half of the head for the hair because it's a lot of hair. And I want to not make this video too long. It's already going to be long, so. Okay, so see, that's the hair we're going to do. And I'm going to do one half of the head for the hair. Okay? But now you guys know what the goal is for the hair. Okay. Let me look at my camera once again and see where we're at. Yeah, you can see good there. Okay. So, for the hair, I'm going to base color her with a gray gelato. Okay? You can use your Copics or your Spectrums. A light gray color is what I'm using. Where's my paintbrushes? Right in front of my face. Okay. This is a way to base coat, and I really like this technique. Dee Dee Willingham taught me this about base coating. You can really cover a lot of ground, and also gelatos love, or the Prismacolor pencil we're going to use over this, they love gelato, watercolor, or acrylic bases, and then you can go right over them to do your shading with pencil over this, and that's what we're going to do. But first we're going to do the gelato. Okay, so come in here and just start. You could also use watercolor for this, to base coat this with watercolor. That would be really pretty. Make sure you're careful of what's the hat and what's the hair. Because I did mess up when I first did this one, and I totally painted the hat, the color of the hair. And that's when I discovered that gelato erases with an eraser. I was like, oh, thank goodness that erases. Oh, I would have fixed it somehow with something. It's just paint, it's just paper. Okay. Excuse me if my hand's in the way. I'll show you what I just did here in a second. Okay, so there we go. And you never have to use these gelatos if you don't want, but they are so nice. And if you, I buy mine usually at Michael's, so they have them at Joann's too. And they usually sell them in sets if you haven't bought these before. And they're like $10, but use a coupon and you'll get them for like, you know, you'll get them for like $5, $6. And always be looking at Michael's around February, because I just bought a bunch. They go on clearance. And I bought them for $3 for a pack of like 4 or 6. I can't remember how it comes. So that was even cheaper than I could get it. $4. It was like $3. It wasn't even $4, and that's cheaper than you can get it with a coupon. So take advantage of those clearances for sure. Okay, so I'm still going with this, just base coating this whole thing. Like I said, I find it easier to print out a large. I find it easier to print out a large digital stamp or image and color it big instead of trying to fill these little small spaces. But some people don't agree with that, so do what works for you. But if you do it like that, then when you have all this hair, it takes a little while. So it takes a little while. Okay, we're going to let that hair dry so that I don't have to try to hook up my dryer. Actually, maybe I will. Just a second, guys. My head's going to be in the way for a minute. Sorry. Usually have my heat gun set up already, but I was messing with my room here this morning, and because I videotape this in segments, you guys. I don't do this all in one day. But anyway, I was messing with my room trying to figure out my camera angles, so I unplugged my little heat tool. Okay, heat tool. Okay, that is dry. Okay, the next thing I'm going to use is, I'm going to check my camera real quick. I'm going to use a Faber-Castell pen. It's a brush pen, and I love the brush on this. So that's what we're going to use for this hair. Just looking at my time. Okay, guys, you know, we're going to go back up to the hair, because there's a part on the hair that I didn't do, which was doing some shading in here. So I need to go back in through and do some shading. See how this looks kind of like just really not very dimensional? That's because we need to go through and do some shading. So let me grab some colors from over here. Let me just look real quick at my colors of what I'm going to be using. Okay, here's my dark and here's my lighter color. Okay, so we're going to go back in here with a darker gray Prismacolor, and it's the dark gray. And then we're going to go in with a medium gray, medium cold gray, and then I might use this light one to blend everything together, which is a, I can't read it, a pale color gray. Okay. All right, so first I'm going to go in with my darker color gray, okay, and start shading that in. And hopefully you guys are seeing. So I'm just going from either side, like right here, I'll go just right through here. And just go in places and just start doing some shading. instead of trying to describe it, I'll just do it. Okay. And you guys, just a second, you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, I'm going to come across, and I'm not wearing the cutest shirt. I am wearing my painting shirt, so. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry I was in front of the camera. I just want to put some ocean music in the background. Some people have said they've kind of liked that when I've done that. Ocean waves. And that just makes it kind of nice in the background, kind of relaxing. Okay, I think it's going. Come on. All right, we'll start coloring, and hopefully that'll kick in a second. You guys know how it takes a few minutes for things to buffer in. Oh, there we go. We don't want it too loud. Okay. So we'll just come in here, like I said, and just do a little bit of shading. With the darkest gray is what I'm doing first. And then I'll follow it up with the medium. Okay, so far I've done some shading right through there, on this side, right into here, right there, okay? And I'm trying to go on this side so you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't wait to get an overhead something so I can know that you guys are seeing right overhead of me and looking right down on the paper. And again, don't use a lot of hard pressure, because in that way you can always go in and be able to blend the next color into it if you don't get a heavy wax buildup. Okay, so see how much better that's looking already. All right, so I'm going to go in with the medium color, medium gray, and go right up next to what I just did. I'm going to go over what I just did, the darker color, and then come out from it, just like we've been doing everything else. Same story. Okay? So I just did it right there. I'll do it over here. I don't know why I don't have a little darker gray right there. Excuse me for a second. I had to switch up the yak again. Okay, back to medium gray. We're just butting up right against, see how everything's getting more depth to it? Okay. And with hair, I mean, it's kind of hard to go, and you can go wrong, but it's kind of hard to go wrong with hair, because there's so many colors in hair. As long as you pick like 3 colors for the hair, a lot of times, that's kind of my opinion. 3 colors is good, even 4, because hair naturally has a lot of different shades in it. Okay, so now I've done that. See how much better that's looking? So I'm going to now take my lightest color, my lightest gray, and it's a pale cold gray, and I'm going to go over the whole thing, okay? So whatever I didn't hit will get hit with the light color and blend everything in together, so it looks nice. And I'm just kind of going over everything. You know what I want to do? I'm sorry, right by the face, I didn't shade this in. 1 second, what do I want to use? I want to use the darkest, closest to the face. So I'll show you guys what I did here in just a second. I hadn't shaded right there by the face. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. I went in with my darkest color, go over the dark and out a little bit from there with the medium gray, and then go with my lightest gray. And like I said, I always choose a real nice light color to blend, and that's usually, that can be your blender. And you go over the whole thing, your dark and your medium shade, and go beyond that, and it blends everything together. Again, right here, I didn't get, there's so much, this hair, there's a lot to this hair. So, if you miss, like I just did, a couple of places where you didn't shade in some color, just go back and do it. I did a shade in some color there. And go back with my light. And if you forget to shade, you can just put just this light color in that spot. And it'll probably look good. Because like I said, hair is... How many different colors do you have in your hair? It's like crazy. So, let me turn this down just a tad bit. Oh, that's up higher. Okay. So, I think that looks really pretty. It looks very similar to the hair we have here. I think that looks really pretty. So this is good. And like I told you guys, this is what the hair looks like. We were all done. But I did not do the other side of the hair for the sake of time, okay? This video is already long enough, and we still got to do mixed media. So, let's now go to the clothing. Like the hair, I used the gelato. I believe I did. And the reason I'm saying I believe I did, you guys, I didn't videotape this all in one take. I've done this over about a week and a half, or 2 weeks, on and off, getting this all done. I think the last week and a half, so I can't remember if I used this or not. If I used the gelato, or if I used a marker. But for the clothes, for the gray, I'm going to use an alcohol marker. Okay. And it's a light color. It's a BG2, and these are the Spectrum Noirs. You can use whatever alcohol marker or water-based, because we're just going to do pencil over this. So you can use alcohol or water-based markers with pencil over it. Either one will do. So here we go. Let's get this other side out. And we're going to base color the whole thing. I'm going to use my thicker side here. And for the sake of time, again, I'm going to only do half of this jacket, which is just the side, same side I did the hair on. Just for the sake of time. But so you guys can get the gist of how I did this, okay? Okay, and I'm going to go down. Oh, you know what? Let me see where my camera's at. Okay, I just showed you that. Okay, we're going to go down because I'm going to do the, sorry about that. I'm going to do the shoes and the purse too. Okay, so let's do the purse. Base coat that. I just really like this technique. I learned it from Dee Dee Willingham of base coating with an alcohol marker or even a water-based marker, just a regular old Crayola. If that's what you have, you can base it with that. You can also base it with the gelatos, like I did. Or you can take a watered-down acrylic paint and make it into like a little watercolor. Or you can use a watercolor and base it, and then use the pencil on top. So you have a lot of options with base coating something. You can also use acrylic paint as your base coat and then use pencil on top of it to shade. So, you guys will see me using all kinds of different things like that as I keep doing videos. So, I love doing hair with acrylic and then pencil on top. I'll have to do that on my next video. I will do that on my next video. That turns out really nice. Okay. Alright, so we're here. We got the base color on. Now let's go through. Same colors that we used in the hair for shading. We're going to use here. So we're going to go with our darkest color. And we're just going to go right on the edge. And if you can't see because my hand's in the way, I'm going to show you exactly what I just did. Okay? So I just put some shading in right there. I'm going to shade on the other side also. And come all the way down. Okay, we're going to go underneath. And this is the thing about shading. You're always going to have a shadow being thrown when it's underneath something. Like, see, you should definitely throw a little bit of shading under right here because underneath her hand. So there'd be like there's a little bit of shading on, a little shadow underneath that. Okay, we're going to throw some shading on the outsides here. I'll move my hand out in a second to show you guys. Okay, let me show you that. Okay. We'll go ahead and go all the way around. Okay. And let's go ahead and shade the purse too. In fact, with the purse, what we're going to do is I'm going to put my darkest color here and leave the middle open. Okay? I find that really effective for shading, especially when there's not much room to shade. Go ahead and put your darker here and here and leave the middle open. And we'll put a lighter color in there. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and start shading our purse. Okay? I just did it right up the top of there. We're going to go all the way around. You know, guys, we're going to do something a little different on the purse. We're going to shade this purse halfway. So we're going to have the sun hitting this on the purse right there. Okay? We're going to do the same thing on the boots. So let's come down on the boots, do the same thing. I really probably should have done that on the sweater too, because that would make sense. If the sun's hitting, if the sun's hitting here, it would be shaded on this side. But we'll leave the jacket the way it is. But we're going to do this right now for the boots too. Okay. So there we go with that. Then we're going to go with our mid shade. And I'm going to continue right now with the boots and the purse. Okay, so I can continue showing you guys that. Okay, so we're going to go over what we just did a little bit and come out from there. Go over what we just did and then come out from there. And that starts blending those two colors together. Okay, same thing here. We're going to go over just a little bit from where we started with that darker gray and then come out. Okay, like that. Same thing. That looks really good. And then we're going to take our lightest color and blend everything. We're going to go over everything. Just go over everything. The dark, the mid-tone, and the lighter gray that we already had put, that was already base coated with the marker. Go over the whole thing. Look how cool that looks, you guys. I love it. Okay. Again, let's go ahead and go over everything. There we go. And like I said, how I shaded the purse and shaded this, I didn't quite shade the jacket the same way like I should have, but I know that, so let's just, I just thought, you know, let's just do a little different type of shading on the purse and the shoes. Okay? Alright, so let's go back up here and finish. Let me make sure I'm in frame for the jacket. Let's go up a little bit. There we go. And let's finish the jacket. Okay, I already did the shading, the dark shading here. So we have to go with the mid-tone, the mid-gray. And we'll go ahead and go over what we just did and come out a little bit. Wait a minute. Did I just choose the wrong one? I sure did. Okay. I just messed up. I did gray over gray. I thought it was my mid-tone color. Okay, the nice thing, like I said, is you can use an eraser, which is so nice, with colored pencils. Sometimes you can really get it to erase completely off. Sometimes you can do it just a little bit. But this, I got it pretty much completely off. So let me just test this. Okay, here's my dark color. Let me put my darkest shading back in again. I'm kind of happy when I do show you guys when I do mess up, so I can show you how I'm correcting it. Okay, there we go. Because that's the biggest way to learn, is to see people's mistakes. I think it's a really effective way to learn. Okay, now we're going to go in with our mid-tone shade, and I just tested it on the side to make sure that it wasn't the wrong one again. Okay, go over what I just did and come out a little bit. Okay, see? All right, same thing. We're going to go right over what we did and come out just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Same thing. Go over what we just did and then come out a little bit from there. Okay, we'll do it to the other side there and all the way around. Okay, that looks really nice. Now let's take our lightest color and let's go ahead and go over everything. Blend everything together. And blend everything together. I think that looks good. Okay, so, like I said, I didn't want to do the other half of all this because, for the sake of time, we still need to do the mixed media. Okay, so let me just zoom out so you guys can see the total picture. You can pretty much see it now, but let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So let me go up a little bit. There's her hat. Okay, there's her hair. And the whole outfit. I think it looks really, really cool. I like how we did the light hitting from the one side and totally shaded on the other side. That looks really good on the bag and the shoes. Okay? All right, so let's go on now. Where are we at with time? Okay, let's go on now with the mixed media part. So I'm going to take this away. This is, let me show you what our goal is, because I already did it. Okay, so this is our goal to get to. Now, it's mixed media, so nothing's ever going to be like the exact same, okay? But I wanted to show you what we're going for as far as a basic effect. It'll be a little different. Plus, since I did this picture about a week and a half ago, because like I said, I don't videotape all this at one time. I was at Michael's, actually Michael's in California, and I found some maps. And I really want to throw some maps in here too. So, it'll change it up a little bit. So, alright, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and get set up to do the mixed media background. And we also cut our girl out and do our mixed media background. So, that's what we're doing next. Okay guys, continuing on. Just one second guys, I want to test out something. I'm testing out where my chair is in the camera for just a second, guys. Making sure that you guys, I'm not going to be in the way. Okay, I'm not. All right, so I'm all set up. Sorry for getting in the camera for a second. I'm all set up for, yeah, making sure I'm not in the camera's way. I'm all set up for the mixed media part. Okay, so what I've done here is I've cut her out. I've fussy cut her out. Yes, we did color her this size. Well, this is the one I showed you guys, and I did change the colors up a little bit. But we did do her, I did color her up 8.5 by, on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I did her really big. And I've told you guys before, the reason I like to go ahead and print them out, when you get digital images or stamps from my Etsy shop, you can color her up, you can print her out any size you want for your project. For any project, I like to do it big. Because this way I can really get in and shade and shadow and do all the stuff I love to do to her face and really get into it. And then I like to go ahead and take this to my printer, scan her onto a jump drive, take the jump drive to my computer, and then after I've colored her up, and then I'm able to print her out any size I want. So that's what I did. So I printed her out now, 5 by 7. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Well, she comes out a little bit smaller than 5 by 7, but that's the choice I chose as far as what size of a print I was going to make. Like, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I printed out a 5 by 7 sheet and then cut her out. So she's still a little bit smaller than that. Okay? All right. So that's how that happened. So now I'm here. Now, if you want to, you don't have to do it. You can go ahead and print her out a 5 by 7 sheet size and then color her up that way. It'll take you less time to color her up if you want to do it that way, and then just cut her out. So you don't have to, like, rescan it back in the computer and reprint it. It's up to you. Okay, hope I didn't confuse anyone. If I did, let me know below. Okay, now, for the mixed media background, this is what we're going for. Something that looks like this, okay? It's not going to be an exact replica because we're doing mixed media. So, but since I did that, this is all the stuff I used in that one, okay? We used this. We used this. And 1 second, you guys, I want to show you guys something. Sorry, I just hit my camera. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Okay, we're good. Okay, what I want to show you guys is you can take a piece of tape. I've already done this to all of these because I've already used these napkins. But you can take a piece of tape and you go, like, you hit this here and you take the piece of tape onto a napkin. You hit it like this, and when you do that, well, now it's just ripping the napkin. But it'll rip up the second and third layer on the napkin. So I just want to show you guys that's a little trick. But like I said, it just ripped my whole napkin, or ripped some of my napkin, because I've already taken all the layers off the napkin. Anyway, the next thing we're going to use this in the mix in the background. We're going to use this in the background. You guys, I love using napkins in backgrounds. I have a little torn piece of music note paper. Use your scrapbook paper too, you guys. We may use this little piece of the scrapbook paper here. We may use this piece here. We're definitely going to use this rose. I want to use this rose up in the corner of my thing. And here's some more pieces of music note paper. So as you guys can see, you guys save everything, collect napkins. I get a lot of napkins from Dollar Tree. It's a great place to get napkins. I'm sure you guys got napkins from friends. When you guys see music note sheets, you can use book pages. I don't have any book pages out right now, but you can use book pages also. The other thing we're going to use is we're going to use some stamps. This is the Eiffel Tower stamp. I love this postage stamp. Is this everything, you guys? So cool. These two I got from Viva Las Vegas Stamps, half price. So this was 16, so this was only 8, and this was normally 15, so it was $7.50. This I got for only $5. Look at this, you guys. A big, huge script stamp. Love this. Got this for $5 at a thrift store. So be looking everywhere for things, you guys, for sure. I'm also going to use this with some acrylic paint. This stencil. Okay, so let's put all of our stuff aside so we can start doing this. Okay. Oh, I'm running out of room, guys. All right. Oh, the other thing I wanted to use, I told you guys I was going to use some maps. Okay, these are the maps that I got at Michael's the other day. Here, this one, that's the same one as the other one. This, is that the same? Oh, that's the same too. Okay, I doubled up on some of this stuff. I was thinking maybe using some of these flowers maybe, and maybe using this. Okay, so we have way more than we can use. But we will figure it out. I'm trying to figure out which map I want to use with her. I'm going to go with this. I think this is really cool, especially this right here, and maybe some of this. In fact, let's tear some of it right now. Let's commit, people. Let's commit. And remember to do as much torn edges as possible, because torn edges just look better, and they blend into everything a lot better. I think that's what we like of that. Oh, and there's another thing I want to discuss with you guys. Let me make sure I don't want some of this. I think I do want some of this. Look at this, is really cool. Let's take some of this here. Okay. The rest of this stuff I don't think I'm going to use. We may use some of this flour. We'll see. One thing I want to discuss with you guys is I used, this is watercolor paper. That's what I'm going to be doing my mixed media on, and then gluing her on top of the mixed media once we get it done. And I got this, actually, I got this at a garage sale for only $2. You guys know this is expensive. This is like $15. Strathmore watercolor paper, and I love it because it's nice and thick. It is cold pressed. I'd rather use hot press. Think of hot press as you iron it, so it's really smooth. But if you do it on the other side, opposite side, it's really pretty smooth. So I'm fine with it. Especially since I got it for $2. Okay, it's nice and thick. I was trying to see what the weight is. It's 140 pounds. So there you go. So you can use, I think, you know, it's just as good as mixed media paper because you can use wet and dry mediums on it, and it's really, really thick. But I kind of like it better than mixed media. Just my opinion. Okay, let's go and let's get into this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is up here at the top, I know I want this rose up here. And let me get my original out so we can kind of just have a little map over here on the side. Okay, so we're going to rip this out. Alright, and I don't mind that this here is not ripped because I want that to fit right in the corner. See how perfectly that fits in the corner? Okay, and let me get my stamps out of the way. We'll put, okay, excuse me guys, I got to clean up. I have a little mess going here. Reorganize. Okay, let's put this over here so I'm not going in front of the camera all the time. Put my glue over here. The glue I'm using is a Liquitex matte medium. This is awesome, you guys. Liquitex, or what's that other brand? Whatever. There's two different main brands. Use either one. The important thing is to use matte medium. You can use this to glue things down, as well as go ahead and seal it on top. It won't be as shiny because it's matte. But what's nice about this, to really seal it, well, to really seal it, you need to go with the varnish. But whatever. You can glue things down with this matte medium and then go over the top of it and really seal it down nicely. I'm looking for a napkin. Just a second, guys. The important thing about this, though, is when you go ahead and seal it on top, it's now a paintable surface, and that's what matte medium does. It makes it paintable. Unlike decoupage, it's not paintable on top. Or you can do anything over the top of this. It's just like a piece of paper on top now once you put this matte medium. And I do everything on top of this. I use markers, I use acrylics, so that's why it's so important to get matte medium when you're doing mixed media work like this. For other craft projects, Mod Podge is perfect. Believe me, I have both in my arsenal because they both have their moments. Okay, let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, move that down. Oh, and the other thing I like to use is I have it right here, a Michael's gift card. And it has to be Michael's. Just kidding. Whatever card. Just really gets it nice and smooth. Then I like to throw a little matte medium right on top. Oh, and you guys, you know what? I am messing up. This, I don't like to use this side. This is the side I like to use as for my drawing. Oh, I was messing up there. Okay. This is the side here. Okay. that I use for messy stuff. All right, there we go. I almost messed up. Okay. And so now we'll paint right on top of that, this stuff here. Okay. Next. Okay, next we're going to go on with some napkins. I like to go on napkins. If I was going to add paint to this, I like to do the napkins first because I like to, oh, this is the other thing I want to show you guys. I like to do the napkins first because you need white for the napkin to completely show up really nicely. Okay, this is another big key with napkins, so you can get a really nice tear, a kind of a controlled tear. Take a little bit of water with the paintbrush and go like this. And look how nice that is. And that way you get the exact part of the napkin you want. Like I wanted this part. What if it would have ripped all the way through there? I would have been perturbed. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. And I kind of want it overlapping the other thing. There's no right or wrong with this, you guys. You just do it to what makes you happy. Okay, so there is no right or wrong. And actually, what did I do? Actually, you know, I'm not going to try. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm not going to try to emulate what we did before. It's just going to resemble it. But I really love this Eiffel Tower. Now, you guys see what I just did? I put the napkin down, and with this stuff, it's so perfect. You can go right over the top of the napkin because the napkins are so thin. You don't have to worry about applying anything to the base of the napkin if you haven't worked with napkins before. That's why I love napkins. It's even easier to glue down than it is paper because you don't have to glue down the back side. You just lay it down, go right on the top of it. It's fabulous. Okay, next, where do we want to go? Let's go with some clocks next. Okay, I love these clocks. Let me make sure we're still in frame. Yeah, we're in frame. Okay, this is all my favorite stuff, you guys. I love clocks. Let me move this out of the way for 1 second. I love clocks. I love Eiffel Towers. I love Paris. Maps. These are all my favorite things. So when I see napkins or paper or anything with these type of things, I always grab them. I'm just absolutely horrible about that. It's like, don't you have enough mixed media stuff? No. Never. Okay. I think I want to put that right there, or do I want to put this down here? I think I want to put this down here. Let's try it down there. Okay. Ooh. Well, I just got my napkin into some mixed media over here. So that just tells me that this little piece, I don't want to waste it, needs to go right there, like I want it. So now that's going there. All right, just a second, guys. I'm getting messy. All right, let me turn my ocean music on, since I forgot. Okay, so we will go ahead and put that napkin there. Sometimes when you mess up, just go with the flow, because that maybe means that you should have been putting it there anyway. Okay, so here we go. Aren't napkins so easy, you guys? I love them. Obsessed with the napkins. And if you want the true color of that napkin, don't have it white underneath. And if you already have paint there and you want the true color of the napkin, paint that little part white first and then put the napkin over it. But if you don't care and you want that color to come through, then do that. And there's no wrong or right answer, just as long as you know that when you have a color underneath a napkin, that color's going to come up. And you may want that. No right or wrong. Have a little baby wipe so that you can keep wiping off your fingers with this stuff, because this stuff will glue you to death. Okay, let's get some music notes going here. Trying to decide which music note I want. Okay, we're going to go with this. Okay, so where do we want to put this at? Let's put that right there. I don't have very much room to work with over here, because I don't normally work on this side, so I'm getting everything in my glue over here. If you guys could see it, you'd be laughing at me. I usually work with my glue on this side over here, but I want you guys to kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so, not kind of, I want you to see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, just go ahead and put the glue on. Some people say that you should put glue on both sides, the paper where you're going to go to, and on the side of the, and on whatever you're gluing, glue it on the paper and the underside. But I don't know. This works out good for me, so this is what I'm doing. You can go on both sides if you want. Okay, but I do always go on top because I want this to be a nice paintable surface when we're done. Okay. I want to put a nice big piece of map on here. So we're going to put it right there. And you guys, always be on the lookout for maps. Maps are great for mixed media. I always, if I can pick up a map, I pick up a map in a second. A lot of times I find, you know, a lot of scrapbook paper, you can pick up at like Michael's or Joann's, open stock. They always have pretty cool maps. So if you can pick up some real maps, that would be cool to use in your mixed media. And then you can use it in your junk journal. I find that you can use so much stuff to use for mixed media, you can use in your junk journal. And you guys are going to start seeing that. I'm going to start, when I do my junk journals, I'm going to start using a lot of my mixed media stuff in my junk journal. I just skipped a little bit of my napkin right there. Okay, doesn't matter. That's what's nice about mixed media. It doesn't matter. Let's put a little piece of, right where that came up, let's put this little piece here. A little piece of music note paper. That looks even cooler. There's, like I said, there's no right or wrong, which is really nice. Just the more haphazard you do it, and the more it looks interesting. I don't want to put this anywhere yet. Nope, I'm not liking that right now. And don't throw away your little pieces like this, because this could look great. You may not like it now, you may like it later in the project, but you can always use this in another project. So I get a little envelope, a big huge plastic envelope, put all my little pieces in there, because the little pieces come in handy. Okay, guys? Alright, I really want to put some of this checkered in there. I think this looks so cool. So I don't want it this big. Alright, let's move the project over for a second and use some of my water. And cut this up here. This is one of my favorite parts of doing this, is the collaging part. I love collaging. In school, the teacher would be like, okay, we're going to collage now. I'd be like, finally, we've been doing math and reading all day. Why am we doing collage all day? Because if I had my choice, we'd be collaging all day. There wouldn't be no math or reading or none of it. We'd just be collaging. I know, I'm crazy. Okay, I think that looks really cool in my opinion. So that's what we're going with right there. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay, and go right on top. Oh, this looks cool. I love it. And if some wrinkles get into it, that just adds character. I love some wrinkles in my napkin. So don't worry about trying to get your napkin perfect with this. I don't try for perfection with anything. I always like the tattered look. You guys know that already about me, so it doesn't matter what I do. I don't do anything to make it look perfect, ever. The more imperfect and the more tattered something looks, the better. Okay, I want to really focus right here because I really like the Eiffel Tower, of course. I also love script writing. See all the script writing in there? And I love all the old-fashioned. I love all that kind of stuff. Okay. Where are we going to put this at? Yeah, so let's tear this bottom piece off. I wish I already would have done that with the water, but no big deal. Or should we put this here? Oh, I like it there. Okay. So it's going to go there. I love doing this. It's so fun. Nothing makes me happier than decoupaging. Okay. Or collaging. What else do we want to do? Okay. I might want to throw in these flowers right here, and I do. See all this right here? It needs like some flowers, in my opinion, thrown in. So we're going to throw in some of these really pretty. This is like my favorite paper in the world. I do not know why, but I love it. You guys will see this thrown in a lot of projects. I pick it up every time Michael's has it, 8 for $1 or 7 for $1. I pick it up. In fact, the maps I just showed you guys, I picked those up this last weekend at Michael's when they had their paper 7 for $1. So. Do I like that? Yeah, I do like it. I think it was 7 or 8 for $1, something like that. And I picked up like 20 sheets of this. I think I picked up pretty much maybe 20 sheets of each one. Because you can't beat that price. And they rarely have it I think it was 8 for $1. They rarely have it for that price. Usually they'll give you 4 or 5 for $1 when they have it on sale, not 8. So I picked up everything on that. You guys know what I'm talking about, the open stocks section. Whenever they have the open stock on sale, I pick up quite a bit of sheets. I'd almost rather buy like that because I want to buy 10 or 20 or 15 of the exact patterns I want and make up my own stack of paper. That's what I really like to do. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, I feel like there needs to be some clock right here. So let me get my clock out. My clock stuff out here. Okay, let me put this aside. And I want it to be this clear one, I think. Isn't this a great little idea that you can take your little paintbrush and just put a little water right where you want the napkin to split? So you have controlled tearing. Nothing better. Okay. Let's bring our piece back here in the middle. And like I said, I feel like it needs to be a clock right there. Yep, that's it. Loving, loving, loving. And that's what I like about this clock. Look how the clock, because it's a napkin, how you can see through the flowers, you can see through the music notes, you can see through the checkered, whatever you call these right here, these diagonal checks. I just love that. We're going to put a big flower right there of napkin. Okay, let me move that aside again. In this napkin, see all the flowers we have right there? We're going to take those flowers right out. I want those flowers, those roses. I love flowers next to clocks and to like coffee baked paper, which is like for the music note paper that we have, and by maps, a map and a flower. I love that, I don't know, justification between each other, if that's the word I need to be using. I like that difference, I guess you'd say. Okay, put this back here so you guys can see it. Okay, I need to rip it I'm ripping it one more time. Okay, because I want some of that rose to go right here. That's perfect. So it's kind of going over the clock a little bit and going over the Eiffel Tower a little bit. And I love it. Okay. I'm going to check our time here to see if I need to restart up my camera again. Look how fabulous that looks. Wow. Okay, you guys, I cannot believe this. I was talking and not recording this entire time. I am so sorry. So you guys did not get to see me decoupage and come up with all of this. So I'm going to review what I did, and I'm not going to be able to show you exactly what I did, but I'm going to talk my way through of what I just did. Okay. For one, this piece of paper I used I cannot believe that my camera was not on. I use this watercolor paper, and it's 140 pound. I got lucky, got this at a garage sale, you guys, for $2. Always looking at garage sales for things. Okay, because it's a nice, thick, heavy-weighted paper. I like it better than mixed media because it's really nice and thick and heavy. Okay, it'll handle water and paint and glue and everything else that needs going to happen. So that's my base. I did also, I also cut this out of, okay, let me show you. We colored her up right here. Okay, I colored up big on 8.5 by 11 sheet. I went ahead and scanned her. I put her on my printer, scanned her onto my jump drive. Took my jump drive to my computer, loaded that into my computer, into my pictures. Then from there, I can go ahead and, after she's colored up, I can go ahead and print her out any size I wanted. So I printed her out this size. Now, if that sounds like too much for you, in the first place, you can go ahead and just print her out 5 by 7, color her up, and then just cut her out. Then you don't have to re-put her back in the computer, okay? But that's how I like to do it. I like to paint. I like to color or paint big, okay? All right. So then I fussy cut her out, okay? And that's how we got her here. So we'll put her aside. Next thing, okay, I decoupaged all this on here, and the things I used was, I used a napkin. I use, oh, and to glue everything down, I use matte medium. And I don't care if it's Liquitex or there's one other major brand you guys can buy. I can't remember the name of it, or the brand of it. Anyway, the main thing is you can use Liquitex or the other brand, whatever the other brand is, but it needs to be matte medium. This makes you can glue everything down with it, but you can also, then you can base coat a coat of it on top, and it makes it paintable. It's a paintable surface now, okay? Also, when you use acrylic paint, and you know, within about 5 minutes, you can also wipe the paint off if you mess up. Okay, so again, I use this napkin. We use this napkin here, which is right here. We use clocks. I only have a little bit left of that napkin now, which is here, and a couple other places. Right there's a clock. We used just some coffee dyed baked paper. Okay. We used this. There was a big flower. Wait, was this it? Yeah, there was a big flower on the edge of here, but I tore it off and put it right there. Here's some more music note paper that I used. You can see some checkerboard right here. Diamond shape. I used a napkin. And I used another piece of napkin right there, and that's here. Okay? The other thing we're going to use is, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a stencil. We are going to use this stamp, Eiffel Tower. We're going to use this airmail stamp. I got both of these at, where did I get these at, you guys? Viva Las Vegas, when they had the half price sale in February. You guys remember February, half price, VivaLasVegasStamps.com. It's actually located, of course, in Las Vegas. So me and Shonda and Chrissy Nitro, we get to go down there ourselves. And also Kelly. We all get to go down there and in person, which is nice. So this was a $15 stamp. I only paid $7.50. This is a $16 stamp. I only paid $8. Fabulous stamp. Now, this stamp here, we're going to use this one. It's a script stamp. You guys check it out. This stamp was normally $14.75. I got it for $5 at a thrift store. Bargain. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, now there's some things I want to show you. Sorry, you guys, that my camera was not on when I glued all this down, because I talked all the way through it and everything. There's a few things I want to show you guys. Let me put this aside. Now, my napkins are already, all the layers are separated off my napkins. Okay, but I want to show you something that's an easy way to separate your napkins. You take a piece of tape, you put it on the napkin. Okay, I'm not going to do it because it's going to rip my napkin because my layers are already on. You put it on the napkin. You go like that, and it takes off the layer of the napkin. Now, if there's still another layer, put it on again. It'll take the next layer off, and you put it right on the top of the napkin. And somehow it tears off the bottom of the napkin, even though the tape's on the top of the napkin. Okay. So that's one thing I want to show you. The other thing I want to show you is, let's suppose you just want on this napkin this little piece right here. Well, to rip it, you may rip the napkin into the piece that you want. Here's a really neat trick. Take a paintbrush, go right around the area that you want to rip out with water and a paintbrush. Okay? And then look how this tears, just right where you put the water. Isn't that fabulous? Okay, next thing I want to show you guys quickly. when you are, let me show you on a piece of paper. Excuse my head. I'm showing you guys these things separately since it wasn't on film. Okay, when you're going to decoupage a napkin on here, oh geez. Okay, when you're going to decoupage the napkin on, it's like my brush has soaking in the water here. You take your matte medium, okay? And when you're doing a napkin, you can go right on top of the napkin. Unlike other things, when you're gluing, you have to glue onto the bottom of it, and then maybe on the area that you're going to glue, that you're going to decoupage, you can just go right on top when you have a napkin, because they're so thin. This matte medium goes right over it and glues it down. Napkins are the absolute bomb to use in mixed media. Okay, so those are my tips, my main tips that I wanted to share with you guys, but I didn't share with you guys on film because my camera wasn't on. So sorry, you guys. That makes me so mad. So anyway, those are the main things I want to show you. You understand now how I got where I got to. I'm going to go ahead and pause my camera because I need to, excuse me for my head, you guys. I need to dry this before we can go on to the next step. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, you guys. I got this all dried. I just used my heat gun and dried it. Or you can use a blow dryer, whichever one you have. Okay. Let me move some things out of the way before I get too messy. Okay, next. Okay, we're going to do some stamping. I think that's what I want to do next. Yeah, we'll stamp next. No, there's one other, just 1 second, there's one other stencil I want to use too. I'm going to use this script stencil with a little bit of white paint through that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to stamp next. We're going to use Archival ink by Ranger. You can use whatever archival ink you want to use. If you don't have archival, you guys use what you got. Okay, so I'm going to use my script stamp, okay? Script stamps are not cheap, but you can always use a coupon. You get them at Michael's. You can get them at Joann's. Pick yourself up a script stamp. It is so worth the money, okay? Just use a coupon, and there you go. You can use, I use a script stamp almost on every collage or mixed media piece that I do. I think they're just so fabulous for background. I think they're fabulous. Okay. So, we are going to script stamp over this whole thing. And I have another script stamp, too, that I bought new, but I got it for, I think I only paid like $4 or $5 for it, and that was at Joann's, too, new. I might have paid $7. It was a while back. Okay. That looks really good. Okay, let's do it again. And it'll stamp in some areas, and some areas will stamp less, and sometimes areas will stamp better, and that just looks even better. When you're doing stuff like this, you're not looking for perfection at all. The more imperfect it looks, if that's a word, the better. The less perfect it looks, the better it looks. There we go. Okay. Awesome. I love it. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more. So remember, imperfection is what you want when you're doing these mixed media backgrounds. That's what I think. I think it looks the best like that. Well, how can it be perfect when I'm tearing stuff? Tearing and putting things on. And okay. Awesome. Love it. Let's see what's left on the stamp here. And not ink it up again for a second. Let's see what's on here. I think this is all we want. Yeah, that looks good. I want a little bit more stamping right there. So let me do that. Let me ink this corner up real quick. And we'll put a little bit more right here. There we go. There we go. And I want a little bit more right there, a little bit more right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go crazy with my stamp just all over the place because I just want to get whatever's on this stamp off, and I'd rather put it on here. Okay. All right. I love that. Okay. Next thing we want to do is let's put an Eiffel Tower in somewhere. We'll put an Eiffel Tower in right here. So we have our Eiffel Tower stamp. And you don't have to use black. You can use any color you want of ink. This is just my choice. Okay. I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to check my camera, make sure we're doing good. Yeah. Should have done that last time, make sure I was doing good. The camera wasn't on. Can't believe I did that. Okay. There we go. That looks awesome. Love it. I want to, always like to usually have a piece of paper nearby so I can stamp off. This is how I like to clean my stamps. I just stamp off somewhere else. Usually I like to have a tag or you know what I have? I have a paint book I usually keep to the side. See, it's full of like paint and stuff. I usually stamp inside of here. Or put my extra paint in here. There we go. All right. I don't think we need this. I was going to maybe use this, but I think we're going to get too much with the airmail stamp. So we're not going to use that. Okay. Put this back over here. Okay, I'm going to put our little girl over here. Okay, next. Next we are going to, what are we going to do next? Okay, next we will do some stenciling. All right, I want to put, this is at the top here. This just be ripped off. It's just part of the napkin that was, that I made a little longer. So I just ripped it off. Okay, so next thing here is I want to put this roulette, whatever it says, roulette something. Okay, and we're going to do it in white. And in fact, the whole name's not even going to fit on here. But does that matter? No, we don't know what it says anyway. It's in French, and it just looks cool. So that's what we're going for, because it looks cool. Okay, let me scoot these stamps over somewhere. Okay, here we go. And let me scoot this up. Sorry, I'm getting my arms all in the way, guys. Let's get myself situated here. Okay, so this is where we want this at, right here. So we're going to take a little bit of paint, excuse my head. We're going to take a little bit of white acrylic paint. Okay. If I can get messy today, I am doing it. I just squirted paint all over my hands. Make sure you guys keep some baby wipes. Take them up at the Dollar Tree. Keep up some baby wipes so you can wipe up your hands and clean up your messes as you go along. Kind of makes it easier on yourself if you have a couple little baby wipes. Plus, baby wipes can also be used in techniques to spread paint around. So, you guys will see me do that too. Okay, not in this video, but another one. Okay, so now, this is what I like to use. I like to use a makeup wedge and just a little bit of paint. So, I have just a little, this is just a little piece of cardboard from a book that I ripped off. So, just a little bit of paint like this. Okay? So very little bit of paint when you're going to go through a stencil. Most people know, but some people haven't used stencils before, so I will kind of make sure that I explain things as I go along. And you just go right through the stencil. And I think that's a lesson for all of us. We all need to realize that everyone hasn't done everything. And so sometimes things are new to people, and so you need to, back up and explain what you're doing. Because I know I've assumed that everybody knows whatever I'm working on at the time, knows what I'm talking about, and that's not always true. There was a time I didn't know how to stencil. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Voila! I love it. Look how cool that looks, you guys. Okay, now we're going to, I'm going to do, what do I want to do? I want to do the number 9 down here on the bottom. Move everything up a little bit. Let's do the number 9 here on the bottom. And I'm going to try to put some of those scrolly pieces in there too. Yeah, they can fit on. They'll be able to fit. Okay, so again, a little bit of white paint. This is just cheap white acrylic paint, you guys. Oh, you know what I just did? I did not line it up with the paper. That was funny. Okay, let's do this again, people. You got to line it up with your paper. That would be a good idea. And we're going to line up the number 9. I cannot seem to get focus here. Okay, here we go. We're lined up on our paper. I want the number 9 and the little squirrels on the side. Here we go. Nothing like get a brain fart right in the middle of your video. Okay, I just turned that a little bit. Okay, we lined it back up. Okay, I think we got everything good. Let's bring it up. Oh my gosh, look how cool that looks, you guys. And it's cool because you just see it. It's not like it's like bam, but this one is bam. It's the title at the top, so I really like that. Okay, so let's put that aside. The next thing I want to do is I just want to add, and I like adding a little white because things were getting a little dark with all the, with the black stamping that we did. Now, you could have done the stamping in some of the base colors that you already see here, and they would blend in more into the background. So that's something we could have done too. Okay, so I want to take some white with this script stencil and go over some of this. It'll lighten things up a little bit and just look really cool. And I'm not worrying about getting really perfect with this because just showing of script here and script there will look really good. Okay? That looks really cool. Okay, we can have a little bit more though, so I'm going to go through it a little bit more. Another thing you can do is you can take molding paste, which I use actually wall compound, you guys. How you like fix a hole in a wall, light wall spackle or light wall spackle. And I use that. It's way cheaper than buying all those ones that like Heidi, I think Heidi sells. And anyway, and if you want it colored, just add acrylic paint and you can make it into a color. And that will be, and when you take it off the stencil, it's raised up. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you never use that, I'll try to use it on my next projects. Oh, that looks cool. See how that white just comes through a little bit? Love it. I'm going to use a little bit of that up here. Just think we need a little bit more. Right up here. See how loose I'm being with this? Now, see how cool that looks? It's just that little bit. Those little bits. And the little bits really make things look really cool. Okay. So I'm liking how all that's looking. I'm going to go ahead and pause it real quick because we need to dry everything. Okay? Okay, guys. I got everything dry. Now, only thing left to do, look at the background, how cool it looks. I think it looks awesome. Okay, the only thing left to do now is we need to go ahead and put our girl in. So, let's put her somewhere. Where should we put her? I'm just going to keep looking until I see a place I like her. I like her there. Do I like her up here? No. I like her over here. I like her about right here. Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're going to put her at, okay? So we're going to glue her in. Yeah, I like it. I like her little, she's like her head right by the clock. Okay, so let me put this aside. I want things to stay really clean, so I just got a piece of deli paper. You guys can use a piece of wax paper. You can just use a piece of printer paper, whatever. Just, I want this to be a nice clean background because I don't want anything to get messed up on her face. Okay, so we're going to take our matte medium. At this point, you could use matte medium or you can use your decoupage glue. Or you can use some Eileen's Tacky Glue, whatever. Because we're not going to go, excuse my head guys, we are not going to go on the top of the picture. Because we've used a lot of things. Some of the stuff I used was water-based. Like the gelatos are water-based. It would start smearing everything. So we're only going to put the glue on this side. We're not going to go with glue on top. Okay? good. Go ahead and take her off of here. Okay, let me put that in the garbage. Okay, and let's put her where we decided, which is right here. Okay, get her down. Okay, and take our credit card and kind of go over her and get her done. And you guys, this is it. I think this turned out really, really nice. I really like how this turned out. I'm glad that we took, we went ahead and strayed away from the example a little bit and added a few extra things that I didn't do before. So you kind of got a couple of different ideas of things you can do. I thought I got her glued down here. Sometimes, you guys, Eileen's Tacky is a better glue to use than this when you're going to glue down heavy pieces. So maybe use the Eileen's, maybe use your collagen glue. Sometimes that's better. But I'm getting it down with her with this. It's just what I had out, so I didn't feel like going and looking for my collage glue. Okay, you guys. Oh, there's that piece right there. Okay. Yeah, use your Eileen's Tacky. I find that works better sometimes because this is cardstock that I'm gluing down. But we still got it down, so we're good. So you guys, there it is. There's the finished piece. I think this turned out really, really good. I hope you guys can pick up some tips and tricks from this, and you know, make sure you guys go to my Etsy shop. It's www.myfairytreasures.etsy.com. Pick yourself up some Angie's Angels. Color them up, do some mixed media backgrounds, and have fun, you guys. And I think that's it. God, this has been a long video, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. But like I said, I hope you guys learned some good tips and tricks and some techniques that you can incorporate in your own style. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, guys. I think that is it. The link's below if you guys want to go and look at my Etsy shop for these digital stamps and images. They're called Angie's Angels. You can go there and check them out. Okay, you guys, that is it. I'll take you guys in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.